Ladies, let's have a little heart to heart. I want to talk to you today about something simple, something you probably have sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, tucked away beside the spices or baking goods, quietly minding its own business. It's not fancy, it doesn't come in gold, trimmed packaging, and it certainly doesn't cost a fortune. But it's powerful, oh yes, and for those of us who have gracefully crossed into our 60s and beyond, it might just be the little miracle we've been overlooking. I'm talking about baking soda. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, what on earth can that white powder do for me at my age? Stay with me. I want you to imagine standing in front of the mirror. You notice your skin looks a little tired. Not bad, but just dull. You feel okay, but not glowing. You've been told that glow belongs to the young, that confidence fades with age, that beauty has an expiration date. Nonsense, absolute nonsense. I'm here to tell you that your glow is still there. It just needs a gentle reminder. Baking soda is that reminder. You see, what we put on our skin matters just as much as what we put in our minds and hearts. And let me tell you, after 60, our skin has earned a little extra care. Years of laughter, stress, sunshine, sleepless nights, all the joys and heartbreaks. They leave little souvenirs on our skin. Fine lines, dry patches, a little sag here and there. It's not age, it's life, and life is beautiful, but that doesn't mean we can't refresh, renew, and reclaim the light that sometimes gets hidden under the surface. Baking soda, used gently and lovingly, can help remove the buildup of dead skin cells that dull our natural brilliance. It's a gentle exfoliant, nothing harsh or abrasive if used properly. Mix a little with water, just a touch, and you've got yourself a natural paste that can smooth away those tired outer layers. You don't need chemicals you can't pronounce. You don't need to spend half your pension on fancy creams. You need to be kind to your skin, and baking soda is just the kind of friend who shows up with a warm cup of tea when you need her. And it's not just about the outside. You and I both know confidence doesn't start in the mirror. It starts inside, deep down, but sometimes that outer glow gives the inside a little push. When you catch a glimpse of yourself and think, hey, I look pretty good today. Don't you walk a little taller? Smile a little easier. It's not vanity. It's self-respect. It's self-love. You deserve to feel proud of the woman you are, wrinkles and all. Baking soda can also help with those little skin issues that sneak up as the years go by. And even texture, clogged pores, that waxy film that keeps your moisturizer from doing its job. A once or twice weekly scrub can open the door for all the other good things to sink in. Your creams, your serums, even the hydration from a simple glass of water. And while we're at it, let me tell you, hydration, ladies, is your best friend after 60. Drink water, bless your skin with moisture, and let that baking soda work its magic just enough to keep things fresh and open. But let me be clear, this isn't about chasing youth. You don't need to be young to be radiant. We're not trying to erase the years. We're celebrating them. That's the beauty of baking soda. It doesn't pretend to be a miracle cure. It's a tool, a helper, a partner in the kind of self-care that says, I still matter. I still want to feel beautiful. I still want to shine. I remember a woman I worked with a few years ago. Let's call her Margaret. She was 70, too proud and elegant, but she had stopped caring for her skin because she said, what's the point? Oh, my heart broke a little when I heard that. But we talked, we laughed, and one day I gave her a little jar of baking soda with instructions, simple ones, just like I'm giving you now. A week later, she came back beaming. I looked in the mirror, she said, and for the first time in a long time, I liked what I saw. And it wasn't just the skin, it was the spark. It was Margaret's glow, making its comeback. That glow, that's what I want for you. Now, let's not forget the rest of the body. Your underarms, your elbows, your heels, they can all benefit from a little loving touch. Baking soda can be mixed with coconut oil or a little honey, turned into a scrub or a polish that leaves you feeling smooth and renewed. You don't need to go to a spa. You don't need permission to pamper yourself. Take 15 minutes in the morning or before bed and just be with yourself. Light a candle, put on your favorite music, and treat your skin to a little joy. And let's talk confidence. You know, people often think confidence belongs to the young. But real confidence, seasoned confidence, that's something that takes decades to earn. It comes from falling down and getting back up, from knowing who you are, what you love, what you've survived. That kind of confidence doesn't get shaken by a wrinkle or two. But it does appreciate the lift that comes from looking in the mirror and seeing the vitality still there, still yours. Baking soda isn't magic, but what it represents is. It represents you taking your power back, even in the smallest way. It's a moment where you say, I'm worth this. And that kind of message, repeated often, begins to settle in the bones. It changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you treat others. When you feel good, you pass that goodness on. And I believe the world needs more women over 60 walking with that kind of strength and grace. You know, our generation was taught to be modest, to put everyone else first, to age quietly. But the truth is, there's nothing quiet about a woman who's decided to love herself again. There's nothing modest about joy. There's nothing small about radiance. And if it starts with a little white box from your pantry, so be it. I'm not saying baking soda is the answer to everything, but I am saying it can be a beautiful beginning. An invitation, a reminder that you're not done discovering new things about yourself. You are still evolving, still growing, still glowing, and if you're worried about sensitivity, listen to your skin. Always, if it feels irritated, use less. Try it with more water or mix it into your cleanser. You're not trying to scrub your age away. You're just polishing the diamond that's already there. Be gentle. Be patient, be consistent, and give yourself time to enjoy the ritual of it. And please, don't stop at the skin. The glow you want comes from all directions. It comes from laughter, from connection. From walking, stretching, eating nourishing food, hugging your grandchildren, learning something new, forgiving yourself for old regrets, and daring to dream a little. Baking soda is just a part of the bigger picture, a symbol of your care, your wisdom, and your courage to keep showing up for yourself. You see, after 60, you're not fading, you're ripening, and ripe fruit is the sweetest, the most complex, the richest in flavor. You don't need to be soft or invisible. You can be bold, vibrant, glowing. Baking soda is simply one of the many little tools you can use to remind yourself of that truth. So tonight, or tomorrow morning, I want you to take a little spoon of that baking soda and mix it with love. As you apply it, think about all the stories your skin holds. Thank your body for carrying you through this life, and let that ritual be an act of self-respect, not vanity. Let it be a declaration: I'm still here, I'm still beautiful, I still matter, because you do. And the world is a better place when you walk in it with your glow fully lit. Now go on, shine. Let's talk a little more about the rituals we build for ourselves, not the ones handed to us, but the ones we choose. When we reach this stage in life, we realize that the world isn't going to slow down for us. No one hands you a bouquet just for turning 60. But you know what? That's the very reason we have to start making time for ourselves. Not as an afterthought, as a priority, and it doesn't need to be complicated. Some of the most powerful self-care routines are the simplest ones: a bowl of warm water, a few spoonfuls of baking soda, your hands, your breath, and 15 minutes of no distractions. That kind of stillness is rare these days. We're pulled in so many directions: family, bills, health appointments, old habits of always taking care of someone else first. But here's a truth you may not have heard enough. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give your best to the people you love unless you also give something to yourself. That little ritual, that small act of caring for your skin, becomes a message to your whole being. You start your day not with chaos or obligation, but with peace, with intention, with a reminder that you're worthy of gentleness. And if you think that something as humble as baking soda can't be luxurious, you haven't tried it the right way yet. You haven't stood in your bathroom with a soft towel, your favorite robe, a little lavender oil in the air, and a bowl of warm water with a dash of baking soda and honey stirred in. You haven't taken your time, made slow circles on your face, felt the tension melt from your jaw. It's not about what's in the bowl. It's about how you show up to that moment. That's what turns the ordinary into something sacred. Let me share something else. Baking soda isn't only for the skin. There's a whole world of confidence, boosting ways to use it that have nothing to do with mirrors or makeup. How about oral care? A pinch of baking soda in water as a natural mouth rinse can freshen breath, polish your teeth, and support your gums. A lot of commercial products are full of chemicals and artificial flavors. You don't need them. A soft toothbrush, a sprinkle of baking soda, and a gentle brush can make your mouth feel as fresh as a spring breeze. And when your mouth feels clean, when you smile, there's a brightness, an energy that carries into every conversation, every laugh, every shared meal. Even your hair can benefit. Yes, your hair, especially if you use a lot of products or have build-up that leaves your scalp feeling heavy. Once in a while, a teaspoon of baking soda mixed with your shampoo can clarify and reset your hair's natural shine, but always sparingly and with balance. You're not scrubbing a floor. You're nurturing the part of you that's been with you through every season of your life. Treat it accordingly. And that brings me to a deeper truth about what happens when we start caring for ourselves at this stage. It's not just about skin or breath or shine. It's about identity. When we take time for ourselves, when we scrub gently, moisturize thoughtfully, rest intentionally, we begin to remember who we are beyond the roles we've played. We're not just mothers, grandmothers, wives, caretakers. We are individuals with stories, longings, desires that still matter. Using something as humble as baking soda to care for ourselves is a quiet rebellion against invisibility. A whisper that says, I am still here. I still deserve to feel good. And you might say, it's too late. I've let myself go. No, my dear, it's never too late. You are not a project that's failed. You are not past your prime. You are a garden in a different season. Maybe the blooms look different than they used to, but they're no less beautiful. In fact, they're more so because they've survived storms, they've deepened in color, they've developed strength. Let's not forget the emotional side of this journey. Our skin holds memory. Every stretch mark, every sunspot, every laugh line, it's all there. And sometimes when we avoid looking at ourselves, it's not because we're ashamed of how we look. It's because we haven't forgiven ourselves for all the times we put ourselves last. That's okay. Forgiveness takes time. But these little moments of self-care, of using what you already have to bring back softness and light, they are a way of making peace, a way of coming home to yourself, and let's have a moment of honesty about loneliness. Many women over 60 find themselves navigating quiet homes, loss of spouses or friends, changes in daily routines. That loneliness can settle into the skin too, you know. It makes us feel forgotten, unseen, but when you turn your attention inward and begin to care for yourself, yes, even with something as small as a facial scrub, you start to counter that invisibility. You remind yourself that you are still a living, breathing, beautiful presence in the world. You reclaim your right to be seen, first by yourself and then by everyone else. I've seen women transform their entire outlook on life after making just one small promise to themselves and keeping it. Maybe it starts with baking soda, but soon it's, I'll go for a walk today. Then, I'll eat something green and nourishing. Then, I'll wear that bold lipstick I used to love. And before long, they're saying, I feel alive again. That's the power of one small, consistent act of care. It's not about vanity, it's about vitality. Now, I know some of you are skeptical. You're thinking, how can a little powder do all that? And the answer is, it can't, not by itself, but it can be the beginning of a conversation you've needed to have with yourself for a very long time. A conversation that says, I am not done becoming. That says, there is still more joy for me to feel, more beauty for me to share. And what I love most is that baking soda asks for nothing fancy. It's democratic. It doesn't care how much money you have, where you live, what clothes you wear. It's affordable, it's accessible, and it works best when used with intention, not extravagance. That's why I recommend it, because it levels the playing field. Every woman deserves to feel beautiful, regardless of what's in her wallet or on her birth certificate. And let's not pretend you haven't earned it. After decades of taking care of others, working hard, holding families together, being the one everyone leans on, it's your time now. Not to withdraw, not to fade away, but to rediscover the joy of your own presence. That sparkle in your eye, that softness in your touch, that laugh that fills a room. These are not small things. These are sacred things. Maybe you've been told that beauty fades. I don't believe that. I believe beauty evolves. I believe it deepens and becomes more meaningful. When a woman in her 60s or 70s walks into a room with her head high, her skin glowing from care and confidence, she changes the energy in that space. Not because of what she's wearing or how she's aged, but because of how she carries the wisdom of her years with pride. And you don't need anyone's permission to start. You don't need a special day or a perfect product or the approval of anyone else. You only need your willingness, your yes, your decision to look in the mirror and say, this woman matters. Whether you're living in a bustling city or a quiet countryside, whether you're married, widowed, divorced, or never partnered, whether your health is robust or you're managing challenges, you can make space for this. Even if you're caring for others right now, a spouse who's unwell, a grandchild who lives with you still deserve your own attention. You still deserve 5 minutes at the end of the day to wash your face, take a deep breath, and whisper to yourself, thank you, I see you. And you don't have to do it alone. Share it, invite a friend over, make it a ritual together, mix up a jar of baking soda scrub and label it with something fun, glow powder, maybe, or magic dust, laugh about it. Remind each other of how wonderful you are. Because when women come together in support, in celebration, in self-love, it's alchemy, it's power. So the next time someone asks you how you keep your skin looking so bright, don't be afraid to smile and say, a little baking soda and a whole lot of self-respect. Because it's not really the powder that creates the glow. It's the woman who uses it with love. It's the woman who shows up for herself day after day, no matter what. It's the woman who knows that her story isn't over, that in fact the most beautiful chapters might still be ahead. And as you begin these little acts of daily care, something extraordinary begins to happen. Something you may not even expect at first. You begin to notice yourself again, not just physically, though that's part of it. You start to feel yourself again. Your opinions return with strength. Your sense of humor sharpens. Your ideas begin to percolate. And slowly, you start to remember the woman who existed long before the responsibilities, long before the expectations, long before the years began piling up like folded laundry. She's still in there. She always was. She just got buried under everything you were told you had to be, but she never left, and this little act, mixing a pinch of baking soda with water, massaging it into your skin, becomes a quiet reunion. You meet yourself again, not as you were, but as you are now, experienced, textured, and utterly unshaken by the shallow rules of youth-obsessed culture. It is not vanity that brings you back to yourself, it is self-recognition. And it matters more now than ever, because it's in this recognition that you reclaim the authority over your own narrative. And oh, what a story you carry, the nights you stayed awake with a sick child, the years you went without things so others could have more, the love you gave away even when you had very little left in your own heart to spare, the dreams you deferred not out of weakness, but out of wisdom and selflessness. Those lines on your face, they are the ink of a book well written, and when you soften and smooth your skin, you are not erasing them, you are polishing the pages. You are choosing to present them with care, with love, with the reverence they deserve. Because this is the season of choice. Maybe in your younger years you didn't get much choice. Maybe the world dictated what you wore, how you looked, how you behaved, but now you get to decide. You get to say, I want to feel good when I look in the mirror, not because someone else needs you to, not because a job requires it, but because you want to honor yourself. That's the real secret of confidence after 60. It comes when you start doing things for you, not to please or impress, but to affirm. And yes, sometimes affirmations come in the form of a small bowl in the sink, but don't underestimate the depth of that gesture. When you mix that paste and gently touch your face, you are sending your body a message: I care, I am paying attention, I am listening. And for so many of us, just being listened to, even by ourselves, can feel like the rarest gift of all. Let's talk about the way people might look at you differently once you start to glow again. Not just from what's on your skin, but what's coming through your skin. The glow of peace. The glow of a woman who knows her worth. People will notice, they might ask what you're doing, and you can smile if you like and keep your secret, or you can share it. Say, I started taking care of myself again. That's all. Nothing complicated. Just little rituals. Just love. And when your friends tell you they're too old for that, or it's too late, or that glow is only for the young, you can gently, lovingly correct them. You can say, no, my dear, glow doesn't belong to the young. Glow belongs to the alive, and I'm still very much alive. Because that's what this is really about. Not just how to use a product, not even about baking soda itself. It's about reawakening. You've lived too long and survived too much to now go quietly into the background. Let the young ones hustle and chase. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You're not here to compete. You're here to be, and that's more than enough. That's radiant, and remember, too, how powerful consistency is. One small action, repeated gently over time, changes everything. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't need a dozen steps. You need one that you do with attention. Maybe it's a face scrub today. Maybe it's sitting in the sun with a glass of lemon water tomorrow. Maybe it's writing in a journal just a few lines while your mask sits on your skin. These are the strings that form the web of wellness. Not quick fixes or perfection, just presence. And yes, there may be days when you forget. Days when your joints ache and you're not in the mood to look at yourself at all. That's okay, rest. You don't owe anyone constant productivity, not even yourself. But when you're ready, come back. Return to the bowl, to the breath, to the mirror, and gently resume. The skin responds to kindness, it remembers. You might not see the changes immediately, but give it a week. Then 2, and slowly, you'll see more than just a difference in texture or tone. You'll see a softness return to your gaze, a steadiness to your voice, a delight in your posture. These are the signs that the care is working, not just on the surface, but deep within. And if you ever need reminding that this effort is worth it, think of the people who look up to you, the younger women, the daughters, nieces, granddaughters, neighbors. They are watching you even when you don't realize it. They are absorbing your example, and when they see you taking time for yourself, not apologizing for it, not feeling guilty, they will learn that it's okay for them to do the same. You are passing down a legacy of self-honoring. You are showing them that aging is not a descent, but a rising. That's the kind of glow that lasts generations. And what a joy it is when you start to enjoy your own reflection again. Not because you've erased anything, but because you've come into alignment with yourself. That's the real radiance. That's when you look in the mirror and don't flinch, don't critique, don't search for flaws. You simply see a woman who has lived and who has decided that her light still matters. It's not about changing everything. It's about softening the way you see yourself, and that softening begins in the smallest gestures. A hand dipped in water, a paste spread across your face, a moment of stillness before the day begins. And if you're wondering whether all of this is a little silly, whether it really matters in the big picture, oh, it does. It matters profoundly, because we live in a world that wants older women to be invisible, to shrink, to make themselves small. And every time you decide to care for yourself, to show up in the world with your glow intact, you are resisting that narrative. You are saying, I will not disappear. I will not be silenced. I will not let the best parts of me be dismissed. You are more than relevant. You are essential. And when you walk into a room with soft, cared for skin, with the quiet pride of someone who knows her worth, people feel it. They may not say it out loud, but they feel it. You become the kind of woman who radiates assurance, who makes others feel calm, who reminds people that there's beauty in slowing down, in knowing who you are, in savoring life rather than rushing through it. That's what your glow does. That's what baking soda helps reveal. Not just smoother skin, but steadier presence, a kind of authority that can't be taught in books or found in trends. It only comes from years of living and choosing to keep showing up for yourself. So maybe tomorrow morning, instead of rushing through your routine, take 5 extra minutes. Mix your little blend, apply it with intention, breathe. Let your fingers remember the landscape of your face. Be gentle, be proud, let that care sink in, not just into your skin, but into your heart. And if you're ever in doubt, if the mirror feels unkind or the years feel heavy, remember this: glow isn't something you put on. It's something you uncover. It was always there, beneath the fatigue, beneath the sacrifice, beneath the years of putting everyone else first. It's yours, it belongs to you, and it's time you brought it forward again. So let baking soda be your tool, your reminder, your beginning. Let your face be the canvas of care, not correction. Let your confidence grow not from what the world says about you, but from what you say about you. Because after all this time, your voice is the one that matters most. So, let this simple act, this gentle ritual with a humble kitchen staple, be more than just skincare. Let it be your daily declaration that you are still here, still radiant, still worthy of care and joy. Let it remind you that beauty doesn't fade with age, it refines. And as you move through each day with your glow restored, may you walk a little taller, smile a little deeper, and carry yourself with the quiet, powerful confidence of a woman who knows she still belongs fully to herself.